Loneliness in college, a topic. So, first of all, disclaimer. If you know me in real life, which you probably do, because, my friends are the only ones watching these videos, it's okay. Um, but this is not a cry for help. I do have my friends back home in San Francisco. I, I grew up in San Francisco, and now I go to UC Berkeley. But, I still have those people. But, since I've started college now, I don't want to rely upon those friendships and use them as a crutch to, get my socialization. Um, and, I don't want to have to rely upon those friendships because then I feel like I won't learn anything um, by going to college. And I want to have that same experience where you're just like, I don't know anyone here, so I gotta just figure it out. But yeah, if I'm really like going through it, like they're always there for me. And yeah, but anyways, um, yeah, loneliness in college, it's a tough one. So, we had a lot of programming in our orientation week where they were talking about, some of the issues people run into in their first year in college. Like, some people, they join a frat and then they party too much and they're, like, too involved in that life. Or people are, like, so overwhelmed by work and school and everything like that. And then, they have, like, a footnote for, like, oh, like, if you don't have any friends, that's tough. Like, and I feel like a lot of times people are willing to just describe what it's like in a sentence and be like, oh yeah, it's hard. It was hard for a year. And even though that technically does describe the situation, like if you ask them how they were and they genuinely meant what they said, they would probably say like, oh, like life's hard right now. Like I feel kind of lonely. And they would say that for a year. But it doesn't really encapsulate that whole feeling of like 365 days that person in a row like felt like they had no one to talk to. And even for me, it's been hard. Like I have plenty of people to like talk to like over text and stuff like that. And I've had plenty of small talk conversations with like people in orientation, people on my floor, people I've met in classes, all that stuff. But even still, it's pretty hard to make a genuine connection. And like if that's on me, who knows? Maybe it is. Um, but I was thinking back to high school, and I feel like I made most of the genuine connections that I still have to this day when I was in junior year. And I could say like, oh yeah, like didn't really do much freshman, sophomore year, junior year. Then like at some point like in there, I started making more friends. But that kind of takes away from the like gravity of the situation where literally for about 2.5 years maybe, I like it's not that I had no one, but it's just that I like had a very, very small social circle or very, very minimal social circle. And and that is like 365 days times like 2.5 years. And even that, like I'm like 2.5-ish years, I don't know, like maybe it was like closer to the end of the semester. But like that is a huge deal for someone who's actually going through it. Like they don't know that like, oh, like in like 6 months from now I'm gonna start to make a little more friends. Got it, perfect. Like I don't think it's very helpful to kind of paint in such broad strokes that you lose what actually happened, where like maybe I like went to class and then went home and watched YouTube and like went on Instagram for like 7 hours and then like did my homework in class the next day right before it was due. Um, just stuff like that where it was hard in the moment, but when reflecting back on things, we have nostalgia, I think, a lot of the time. And we aren't willing to actually extrapolate like what a day to day, uh, what our day to day life was like, and I just maybe that's what this channel is going to be. I just want to kind of expand upon like a lot of those ideas of like I just personally found it like almost like degrading when people were like, "Oh yeah, like things are going to be hard. Like I'm really sorry." Like, but I don't think that like actually captures the situation. It doesn't feel like they really care, and like I just want people to get into the nitty gritty of it. Like I want to hear people's stories of like there's a group of like 8 people sitting at a table, and then you go over and you want to sit down, and then you realize, oh, there's no more seats. Like that's the that's what real life is to me, like on a day to day basis, and I want to hear people capture that. I want to hear people when they're like, I don't know, they like try to like ask someone a question who they think is interesting, and then like they realize they have headphones in, and they're like so embarrassed in front of everyone. Like just little things like that are what people find embarrassing, and those are the hard parts of life. But I don't think anyone reflecting back on that cares if they're like, oh yeah, like 5 years ago, I'm not going to remember something like that or even care. But I kind of want to like get into the actual nitty gritty of life because those are the interesting parts. And that's with everything. That just doesn't have to do with like making friends or stuff like that. You know, it's like with like money or like finding a job. Like people are just like, oh yeah, I worked hard for, 8 years, like throughout high school and college. And then, I tried my best, got into graduate school, and now here I am. But you're missing about 50 million things that happened in between where like you were having a mental breakdown on the day before your test and you like didn't even know if you were going to pass the class, like, and then you found out you failed the class and then you were just like crying and then you realized you could retake it. Like all those things are so important because if you don't convey those to people, then people will think, oh my god, I'm messing up so much, like I messed up this and this. But I want to actually convey what real life is like. All right, bye bye.